Welcome to this edition of Collier Recap. I'm Troy Miller, and this is a recap of the March 26th Board of County Commissioners meeting. The board began the day by celebrating 4 proclamations. First, April was designated as National Fair Housing Month in Collier County. The proclamation was accepted by Fifth Third Bank Residential Sales Manager Miguel Villarreal and members of the county's Housing, Human, and Veteran Services Department. Next, commissioners proclaimed April as Water Conservation Month here in Collier County. The state of Florida, the water management districts, and Collier County are working together to increase awareness about the importance of water conservation. April, typically a dry month when water demands are highest, is annually designated as Water Conservation Month to educate citizens about how they can help save Florida's precious water resources. The proclamation was accepted by Paul Matosh and Steve Messner from the Public Utilities Department and Lisa Keeler, Big Cypress Basin Administrator. The board proclaimed their support for the Collier County Community Garden Initiative. Their mission is to encourage additional community gardens and to inspire a love of gardening in children and adults alike. The proclamation was accepted by several members of the Community Garden Initiative, as well as members of the Parks and Recreation Department. April 7th through 13th was proclaimed as Everglades Week here in Collier County. April 7th is the birthday of Marjorie Stoneham Douglas, one of the preeminent defenders and advocates for the Everglades. In her honor, the Florida State Legislature has designated April 7th, 2013 as Everglades Day. Collier County contains a significant area of the Big Cypress Swamp and the greater Everglades ecosystem. The proclamation was accepted by Captain Franklin Adams, Master Naturalist, Brad Cornell from Collier County Audubon Society, Nancy Payton from the Florida Wildlife Federation, and Nicole Johnson from the Conservancy of Southwest Florida, Lyle McCandless, Big Cypress Sportsmen's Alliance, and Wayne Jenkins, Collier Sportsman and Conservation Club. On behalf of Collier County government, the board was presented with the Above and Beyond Award by the Department of Defense Committee on Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve. The award publicly recognizes Collier County for providing extraordinary support to Florida National Guard and Reserve service member employees. County Manager Leo Oakes thanked the Guard and Reserves for all they do for us.
We're very grateful for our association with the Guard and the Department of Defense. Thank you again for being here.
Commissioners, along with the Superintendent of Collier County Schools, Dr. Kamala Patton, recognized the winners and finalists of the Laws of Life Essay Speech Contest. Several students read their essays out loud in the boardroom. The Laws of Life program is a character-building activity that helps young people focus on and develop positive character traits that lead to a successful citizenship and life. Congratulations to all of the winners and their outstanding achievement. The board approved an item directing staff to solicit proposals to develop and implement targeted improvements to the county's federal and state grants compliance and administration system. The solicitation should be directed to public accounting firms with known expertise in grants compliance, accounting, and auditing, including but not limited to the Big Four accounting firms.
With respect to grants compliance, there has to be strict compliance. There is no leeway, so it makes it a very time-consuming and burdensome process. Fortunately for us, we have new leadership in that division, and fortunately again, there are templates available that have been developed by the public accounting firms to assist organizations like ours with respect to grants administration and compliance. And so rather than reinvent the wheel, we would like to give the county manager the opportunity to drive the bus rather than build it. And as such, having spoken to him and his staff, and having heard from the external auditor that the purchase of such a system would be paid back to the county in spades over, I think, what would be a very short amount of time, it really makes good business sense for us to put out this request for proposal and buy such a system.
The request for proposal shall be developed and released within 60 days of receipt of an assessment report. Commissioners directed the county manager and the county attorney to develop a new ethics ordinance for Collier County that more closely mirrors state statutes for ethics. In addition to developing a new ordinance, which will come back to the board for approval, the board also approved the designation of the county attorney as the county's chief ethics officer. The Chief Ethics Officer will be responsible for ensuring that the ethics provisions adopted by the county are respected, to provide guidance and opinions to the county's elected officials, staff, contract employees, advisory board members, and contractors or vendors as to what constitutes ethical conduct consistent with adopted law, and to develop a code of practices and procedures so that what constitutes ethical conduct is readily understood. We will keep you posted when the new proposed ethic ordinance comes back to the board. The board heard 2 presentations of audits performed by the Clerk of Circuit Court. The first report was regarding audit of the Economic Development Council for a review of public sector expenditures. The second report was regarding an audit of the Immokalee Regional Airport concerning fill dirt. The audit pertained to whether there was theft of fill dirt, whether the removal of fill dirt was permitted, whether the project was in compliance with permits, and if violations of regulations occurred with regard to the Immokalee Airport Phase 1 Lake Project. After hearing the airport audit, the board directed staff to work with the USDA and seek guidance in rectifying any irregularities. Commissioner Tim Nance brought forward an item that the Board of County Commissioners direct staff to meet with the Clerk of Courts to develop an action plan for coordinated financial reporting in accordance with generally accepted principles of accounting and rules as promulgated by accounting standards boards. Further, that staff work with the clerk to eliminate or reduce as much practical duplicate financial functions.
I thought it was in order, and several people helped me work on this executive summary to have the staff of the county manager and the clerk and other relative managers get together and work on making sure that we have coordinated financial reporting and accounting. That meaning with a goal of reducing any duplication of effort that may exist, trying to eliminate inconsistency in reporting between different divisions, departments and agencies and business units like our CRAs, our airports, so on and so forth, and making sure that all of these things import easily right into your comprehensive annual financial report that we do each year.
The board approved the motion, and the county manager and the clerk of the circuit court will bring back a plan for approval at a future meeting. Acting as the airport authority, the board heard a plan presented by Airport Authority Director Chris Curry on how to make the Collier County airports self-sufficient. The 3 county airports, Marco Island, Immokalee, and Everglades City, have traditionally required annual fund transfers in order to operate. The commissioners had requested a plan to eliminate the annual fund transfer and pay back the county loan. After hearing the plan, the board asked Mr. Curry to refine the plan and include more specific income numbers. In other airport authority news, the board voted 3-2 to not renegotiate Airport Authority Director Chris Curry's contract, which is set to expire in September. The board can still take action between now and September to modify that contract. The board voted to adopt an ordinance that will create a hearing officer. The commission had received the original proposal at the March 13th BCC meeting, but had asked for some minor changes. The ordinance creates the Office of Hearing Examiner and gives the hearing examiner the following powers and duties: appeals of administrative decisions or interpretations. The hearing examiner will hear and decide all requests for variances from terms of the regulations of restrictions of the zoning code and such other codes or ordinances as may be assigned to him by the Board of County Commissioners. The hearing examiner will hear and decide all requests for minor conditional uses. The hearing examiner shall hear all petitions for a boat lift canopy and dock facility extensions as provided for in LDC sections 5.0306G and H. The additional duties, to the extent his schedule permits, the hearing examiner will make his or her special knowledge and expertise available upon request of the Board of County Commissioners. Any individual commissioner, the county manager, or the county attorney, provided that such requests do not in any way involve a matter that is pending or is likely to come before the hearing examiner. The hearing examiner shall disqualify himself from a particular case when he reasonably perceives that he has a real or perceived conflict of interest or that the case is one of great public interest or concern. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Collier Recap, your recap of Collier County Board of County Commissioners meetings. Now, if you want to review all or part of any county commission meeting, visit colliergov.net and click on the video archive section. Once in the archive section, select the meeting you want to review. Now, for BCC meetings, you can use the convenient drop-down menu to select and jump to any item of your interest. For additional information on Collier County government, visit our Facebook page at Collier County Government. You can also check out videos about government services at the Collier Gov YouTube channel. I'm Troy Miller. Thanks for watching Collier Recap, and we'll see you next time.
You're watching Collier Television, bringing government home.